Hello, you're very welcome to a very brief, no longer than 10 minutes demonstration on our accident and incident capability within the system. It's not designed to be a training exercise, and it's certainly not designed as a deep dive, but just a total overview of the system. Let's start first by having a quick look at the administration dashboard, of course, which can be configured entirely by you, but to show you what sort of information can be got from the system. Okay, and then we'll focus on the app, which is designed purely for employees to get information to and from people quickly. So an accident, for instance, can be reported on the app in a matter of seconds. Okay. But let's focus on the administration side and the level of quality of detail that you get out of this and the intelligent information that you get from this. Okay, so on this, and again, the graphs can be completely configured. You'll start to see that I have 5 accidents in January, but I can also look back at my past, and I can also look into my future at what the end of the year will look like. So you'll know that by the end of the year, depending on what type of regression and projections that you use, that you're dealing with somewhere like 12 at the end of the year. You can also put into the system that each accident costs about €1,500, so you're dealing with about €20,000 of costs at year end. So right now in January, we can start to make calls on how do I reduce that to 4? Right? Where are my hotspots? And as we talk about hotspots, you can also start to see, of course, assuming you have GPS turned on in the system, which you don't have to do, you can start to see areas of high intensity of accidents and incidents, whether that be through heat spots, hotspots, or whether that be through pin mapping. And again, this can be a global map. I've just happened to focus on Wexford as an area, but you can start to see where your problem areas are. Okay, you can break that down by, of course, by town, and all of these are clickable. Okay, as we go through the process, and we'll come through the detail in a little later. Okay, you can, if you different accident incident types, good saves, safety observations, whatever it is, you can break that down by project, by subcontractor, right, by sector. Okay, by injured body part even. You can also, of course, differentiate some of these graphs by either name or count. So you can start to see that inattention is the biggest root cause of our accidents, and that the leg is the most injured body part, and that it's caused by predominantly electrical Dublin as being a problem in Wexford on this particular corner of the factory. So if you want to reduce your overall accidents and incidents and associated costs, that's where you can already start to make intelligent information quicker from within the system. You can pull out the accidents where people were sent home. You can pull out the number of reportable accidents. You can manage dart and true rates. You can do all of that sort of stuff within the system. Okay, let's focus on the app for a second. So we're 3 minutes in, right? And so the app, as said, is designed to be for employees only. Let's go back to the home screen, and it gets information to and from them quickly. I'm going to run through this really quickly, and then we can come back, right? But to show you how quick it is to report an accident or incident. Okay, so you hit on the word services, you hit on the word accident or incident. I'm going to do a good save, and it's low risk. It occurred, might be last week because someone may have reported it today, but the incident last week, and both things are captured in the system. Was it a subcontractor or was it a direct employee, right? What location? Let's go for Wexford again. What project? Right. Again, GPS, if you have it turned on, right? Who was it reported by? So again, I'm logged into the system, so that information is captured. But of course, you could be reporting it on behalf of someone else, right? Now, bearing in mind that public QR codes also exist in the system, so you can post a little QR code for people that aren't registered, and they can just scan that and fill in the form, and all that information comes through in the background. So there's no Excel, there's no administration, there's no Power BI. All of this is filtered automatically. So let's say it's an access and egress one, and these questions and these forms are entirely yours. Okay, in the main. So it can be as long or as short as you want. We have some clients that have 200 questions here. For good saves, I like 4 or 5 quick ones. Okay, good save details. Picked up baling twine on footpath that fell off a low loader, right? Just as a matter of interest, right? You can upload images, voice notes, whatever it is that you so wish as part of your process. I save and submit that detail. It's now saved. Done. That's my job as an employee. When we come back into the system as an admin, you can see that I now have these here, and here's the one reported by me on this power plant in Wexford, and it's a good save. And if I go down, it gives you my GPS access and egress, and picked up the baling twine that fell off the packet truck, right? As an administrator, what happens is you can approve that then at that stage. You can also set all good saves that are safe to be automatically approved, but I'm going to approve that, okay? So that's my job done in that perspective. But what we now can start to do, if I go into the approve section, all of these graphs are clickable. We can now start to assign corrective actions. We can now start to add additional information. So is it an immediate corrective action? Who needs to do what, by when, and where, right? Very simple corrective action module in the system to show you that very, very quickly. Corrective action modules. Obviously, the employee will only get to see their own corrective action. You will get to see everything, but Tom sees that he has something to do by a certain date and he wants to drag it over because he has it done, but because you might not believe him, so you want him to sign it, add some questions, upload an image. You go, yeah, I'm happy. Tom has done whatever he needs to do and I can close it out. Right? Simple as it is. Why is that important? Because when we go back into our accident dashboard, for example, you'll see on each accident whether there's a corrective action exists at all or not, and at what status it is. So is it to do, is it completed, or is it closed out by a particular manager? In every instance, of course, let's pick one of these. You can have a print template. So you want to send something out to, let's pick one with that has a print template in it. Right, you want to send something out to your insurance company, you press print template, and how this looks and feels is entirely down to you, okay? And you can send that to your insurance company. Very straightforward from that point of view. Okay, that is a very, very quick overview. I'm at 7 minutes, so let me show me a little bit more about the app. So to go back to the dashboard, of course, the employee will see if they have any outstanding tasks. So they click on outstanding tasks. That could be a corrective action as associated with an accident or incident, but could equally be a plant inspection, something to do with their vehicles, an employee check sheet. But let's assume it's a corrective action associated with an accident incident. And this is what I have to do, and it's overdue. So I click on it. I fill in whatever form that you as a client decided they want to fill in, right? And then they save and submit it and complete it. And that's it. Then the corrective action is now complete. Same functionality exists for upcoming tasks. So listen, you have something to do in the next 30 days, right? Clearly announcements are all there. So you can see the most recent one or the entire ones. So if you have a red weather warning, you can push that out to your clients, your employees quickly. Weather appears, of course, if, as I said, you had GPS functionality turned on. I did mention that public that are not registered on the system can report an accident or incident. And of course, you can do that using our QR code functionality here, right? But it's any QR code functionality on any app will work. But we also have this scanning functionality within here. So you hit the button, opens up your camera, scan the QR code, and you're good to go. There is other functionality within the system, of course, for further investigation in terms of uploading video functionality for investigation where you do not want the person that originally reported the incident to see certain information. And clearly, of course, with an accident and incident, the forms can get quite complex. So was there a car involved or not? And therefore, a certain set of questions open up after that don't normally appear if there was no car. And then was there a second car? And so accident investigation can get quite deep insofar as you have witness statements. You will have statements that are submitted long after the actual accident was reported, et cetera, et cetera. But all of that is graphed and managed from within the dashboard, and of course, all managed on a role-based scenario. Okay, so that's a quick overview, just simply to give a bit of a snapshot of capability within the system. I am at the 10 minutes. Quite happy to do a deep dive with anybody at any stage. We can set quotas on all of these if you're doing safety observations as well, so that certain people or projects or locations must submit a safety observation every week. It's not the same element with accidents and incidents, clearly. There are something like 40 or 50,000, I think, accidents and incidents being managed on the system at the moment. But again, we can discuss that in greater detail, subject to GDPR and client confidentiality if we get into a deep dive conversation. That's the brief snapshot. Thank you for listening. I hope that's sufficient to give you a taster of our capability, and we look forward to dealing with you also.